Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome, my dear students of grade first secondary, to a new biology session. Today, inshallah, we'll start a new chapter and a new unit, Unit 3, Inheritance of Traits, the curriculum of the second term. In this unit, we'll study the inheritance and the chromosomes and how the hereditary traits transfer from one generation to another. If you look at any person, he has some similarities and differences from his father and mother. And if you look at any generation has some characteristics from the parents. We have some characteristics from our parents. We always have some characteristics from our parents, but not all characteristics from our parents. We have some characteristics only from our parents, and we have also some new characteristics. This science or this biology chapter is talking about how do we inherit our hereditary traits, how the hereditary traits transferred from one generation to another. كيف تنتقل الصفات الوراثية من جيل لآخر from one generation to another. يعني if your parent has a blue eye, it is highly percentage that you have a blue eye. And if your parents have a brown eye, it is highly possible that you have a brown eye, and so on. If your parents have a yellow hair, it is highly percentage that you have a yellow hair. And if your parents have a black hair, it is highly percentage that you will have a black hair. So you inherit a lot of hereditary traits from your parents. Like what hereditary traits? The color of the eye, the color of the skin, maybe colored or white. The color of the eye may be brown or green. The ornamental sparrow, this bird which we have some amazing colors, green, blue, and yellow feather. This species of birds has these amazing colors. From where they inherit these characteristics? Of course, they inherit these characteristics from parents, and they give these characteristics to their offspring. How do these characteristics transmit from parents to to the offspring? This is our discussion in this chapter, inshallah. The first scientist who studied the inheritance was called Mendel. The first scientist who studied the inheritance was called Gregor Mendel. He studied the inheritance. He makes some experiments on a pea plant. He makes his experiments on the pea plant, and he found a lot of characteristics in the pea plant that can be distinguished. It is clearly to be distinguished, like the color of the seed, the color of the flower, the seed, the shape of the seed, and the shape of the pods, and so on. He found that there is 7 characteristics in the pea plant, and he studied these characteristics very well, and he studied how these characteristics transfer from one generation to another. So in the first part of this chapter, we'll talk about chromosomes and genetic information. And in the second chapter, we'll talk about genes interaction. And in the third chapter, we'll talk about genetic inheritance and genetic diseases. Let's start with chromosomes and genetic information. Chapter number 1. We know that the nucleus of the cell, everybody has a cell. You know that our cell, everybody has a cell like this. If we have a cell like this, animal cell, for example, and there is a nucleus in the middle of the cell like this. The cell has plasma membrane. What is the structure of the cell? The cell has plasma membrane, and it has cytoplasm, and also it has nucleus. Where is the genetic material? The question here, where is the genetic material? The genetic material is found here inside the nucleus. The genetic material is found inside the nucleus. Genetic material here inside the nucleus in the form of what? In the form of chromosomes. We say that the chromosomes carry the genetic material or the hereditary substance inside the nucleus of the cell. The nucleus of the cell contain chromosomes, contain chromatin. And this chromatin or these chromosomes carry the genes. The genes are parts of chromosomes. The chromosome is made up of what? The chromosome is made up of each chromosome is made up of what? Do you know? The chromosome, I will draw it here. I will draw a chromosome now. The chromosome is like this. Like this. Consists of two chromatids, and this chromosome is called duplicated chromosome. Consists of two chromatids. Consists of two chromatids, and they are connected in the middle here in the point called centromere. They are connected here at the centromere. So we have two chromatids like this. This is the chromosomes, two chromatids. And the two chromatids are connected at what? At the centromere, as you remember, we have studied it before, maybe in grade 9. This is the centromere. Okay? And this is the two chromatids. Two chromatids. And this is the structure of the chromosome. You can say also the chromosome can be single. If we draw something like this, what can we call it? This is also a chromosome. This is also a chromosome. But this chromosome after duplication and this chromosome before the duplication. You know, there is a duplication of genetic material happen in the interphase before the cell division. Duplication of a genetic material. Type. What inside the chromosome? We have studied that the chromosome contains DNA, a long thread of DNA, and also it contains protein. Contain also protein. This is a long thread of DNA, and the DNA carries a genetic material. How? The genes are found here on the DNA. The genes are part of the DNA. يعني the DNA is long thread, it made up of hundreds of genes. So the genes are part of DNA. Here, this part is called gene. This part of DNA is called what? It's called gene. So the gene is a part of DNA. The gene is a part of what? Of DNA. It represents a certain arrangement of nucleotides. It represents a certain arrangement of nucleotides. It is a code, like a code. The gene is a part of DNA. So the gene is responsible for appearance of a certain hereditary traits. So there is a gene for the eye color. There is another gene for the hair color. So there is another gene for the curly hair or the straight hair. There is another gene for example, the tallness, your body tallness. And there is another gene for your skin color, and so on. Every characteristic, every hereditary trait has a gene which controls it. Every characteristic has a gene which controls it. So genes are found in the chromosome, in the DNA. Molecule of DNA carries the genes. And the genes are responsible for appearance of hereditary traits. And the DNA thread is a very long thread, double helix. DNA is a long thread, double helix. We call it double helix. And it contains maybe hundreds of genes. Every DNA carry hundreds of genes. طيب. How many chromosomes in each species? It is a fixed number. In each cell, there is a fixed number of chromosomes. For example, we have here a pancreas cell. A pancreas cell. This pancreas cell has a fixed number of chromosomes because it is a somatic cell. It has 23 pairs of chromosomes. Or you can say they are 23 pairs or 46 chromosomes. 46 chromosomes. Why it is 46 chromosomes? Because it is a somatic cell. It is a somatic cell. Somatic cell. We have two types of cells. Somatic cells and what else? Somatic cells. All your body cells are called somatic cells. Like the skin, like the kidney, like the liver, the pancreas, the muscles, the hair. All your cells are somatic cells. Only the reproductive cells or the gametes, which are ovum in the female and the sperm in the male, only carry half number of chromosomes. Somatic cell carry complete number of chromosomes. We call it 2n. Complete number of chromosomes. We call it a 2n. This means that this cell, somatic cell, carry a complete number of chromosomes, which is in the human 46, and it is different from human to another living organism. It is different from human to the other living organisms. In the human, it is 46 chromosome, or you can say 23 pairs in the somatic cell. In other living organisms, there is other number. There is other number. So the number of chromosomes is fixed in each species and different from one species to another. Yani in all your body cells, there is 46 chromosomes. In all somatic cells, like the pancreas cell or the red blood cell and so on. This is another cell from the blood. White blood cell. It has also 46 chromosomes because it is a somatic cell. It is a 46 chromosome because it is a somatic cell. Okay? But only the ovum and the sperm carry half number of chromosomes. Only the ovum and the sperm carry half number of chromosomes like this. The sperm like this, and the ovum like this carry what? They are called reproductive cells. They are called reproductive cells or gametes. Or you can say gametes. These gametes has half number of chromosomes only. They have N only. They have N only. So gametes, sperm or ovum, they carry 23 chromosome only. 23 chromosome only. We say it is a single number of chromosomes. We say it is N. And also the ovum carry half number of chromosomes, 23 chromosomes. It is also N. We can say this is called N, and this is also called N. This number of chromosome, we call it N only. And this one is also a N. Because zygote and the sperm and the ovum fuse together and they make the zygote. During sexual reproduction, they fuse together to make what? To make one cell contain complete number of chromosomes. This new cell is called what? Zygote. This new cell is called a zygote. The zygote contain a complete number of chromosomes, which is what? Which is a 2N. The zygote contain a 2N, complete number of chromosomes, 46 chromosomes, because it comes from fertilization between the sperm and the ovum. So the complete number of chromosomes come again after fertilization. This is what we know about sexual reproduction. This is what we know about sexual reproduction. Maybe we have studied in grade 9. And also we are studying it now. So we have to know in the chromosomal theory, we have to know that there is a fixed number of chromosomes in each species. In the human, there is 46 chromosomes. After developing the microscope, the scientists make something called karyotype. Karyotype. What is the meaning of karyotype? They can, after developing the microscope, they can see the chromosomes clearly. They use the electronic microscope and the powerful microscope to see what inside the nucleus, to see the chromosomes and to arrange them. And they arranged the chromosomes in each cell in a descending order according to their size, from the bigger one to the smaller one. They arranged the chromosomes from the bigger one to the smaller one. This arrangement is called karyotype. How many pairs of chromosomes we have? How many pairs of chromosomes? We have pair number 1, pair number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, until we reach 22 or 23. Here we have 23. Okay. The first 22 chromosomes are similar from the male and the female. The difference only in pair number 23. This pair is different between male and the female. This one only different from male and female. The female has pair number 23 is called the 6 chromosomes. 6 chromosomes in the female are similar. 6 chromosomes are similar. They are X and X in the female. They are similar in shape, X and X. But in the male, 6 chromosomes are different. Here in the red color, they are X and Y. They are different. One is big and one is small. They are X and Y. This is a pair number 23, which is called a 6 chromosomes. The 6 chromosomes in the male are X and Y, and the 6 chromosomes in the female, X and X. So the female has 44 plus XX. This is the karyotype of the female somatic cell. The somatic cell. Somatic cell contain 44 plus XX. What are the 44? They are the first 22 pairs or the 44 chromosomes. As you see here, we have 22 pairs are called autosomes or somatic chromosomes. We have 22 pairs of autosomes. autosomes. Okay, so they are similar. The autosomes are similar in the male and also in the female. But the 22 pairs of autosomes are similar between male and the female. But only the last pair of chromosomes, the pair number 23 is different. Pair number 23 is different. They are called the 6 chromosomes and they are similar XX in the female, but they are different in the male. They are XY. So the male has 44 in each somatic cell plus a XY. Every male has karyotype in the somatic cell, which is 44 plus XY. But the female has what? The female has 44 plus XX in each somatic cell. But the male has 44 plus XY. This is the somatic cell of the male and the somatic cell of the female. And the arrangement of the chromosomes in descending order and numerating them, giving them number, this is what we call karyotype. What is meant by karyotype? Arrangement of chromosomes. Can you define karyotype now? Can you define karyotype? It is what? The arrangement of a chromosomes in descending order. Arrangement of chromosomes in what? In descending order. According to what? According to their size. According to what? To size and enumerating them and numbering them. Okay, this is what's meant by karyotype. This is the first important issue in our lesson today. What is meant by karyotype? The karyotype is a, again, Yani, can you tell me what's meant by karyotype? Can you read it?
It is the arrangement of chromosomes descending according to their size and
Arrangement
numbering
of
them.
chromosomes in descending order according to their size and numbering them. Okay? Okay. The karyotype of the male somatic cell, 44 plus XY. The karyotype of the somatic cell in the female, 44 plus XX. So the first 22 pairs are similar. We call them autosomes. We call them what? Autosomes. Autosomes. The first 22 pairs are called what? Are called autosomes. This one, the first one here, the biggest one, and the smallest one there, the first 22 pairs are called autosomes. Only the last pair is called a 6 chromosomes, which are different between male and the female. Only this pair is different. Only this pair is different. Okay, but all autosomes are similar between male and the female. طيب لو اتكلمنا عن جميد زي سبرم او اوفم هنلاقي فيها number of chromosomes what is the number of chromosomes in gamete in sperm مثلا هنلاقي 22 pairs و 23 pairs ولا 23 only
23
مفيش pairs بقى single chromosome مفيش pairs في single كروموسوم وبالتالي انا اقدر افرق بين السوماتيك سيل والجميل من النمبر اوف كروموسومز لو لقيته بيرز الشكل ده بيرز على طول اقول دي سوماتيك سيل لو لقيته سنجل اقول على طول ان ده جميل تمام طيب النمبر اوف كروموسومز human different from other living organisms. In the human, the number of chromosomes is what? 46. طب in gorilla 48. In the chicken or hen 32. In the wheat plant 42. So it is different from one living organism to another. It is different from one species to another. Cat 38. Onion plant 16. Vinegar fly ذبابة الفاكهة 8. Sweet potato 48. The dog 78. طب does it mean the dog is more smarter than the human? The big number of chromosomes, does it mean the dog is more bigger or smarter than the human? Of course not. So the number of chromosomes doesn't mean the number of chromosomes doesn't mean that the living organism is more smarter or more bigger size, because here we have 46 and the chromosomes in the dog 78. So we can't say that if you are bigger in chromosomes you are smarter. No, of course not. Okay. And the pea plant here we have 14 and so on. We cannot. The frog is 26. The tobacco 48 and so on. We have to say that every species has a certain number of chromosomes. The number of chromosomes different from one species A to another. And the somatic cells have double number of chromosomes and the gametes have single number of chromosomes. Right. We need to read this part. It is very important. Chromosomes are descendingly arranged in homologous pairs according to their size from number 1 to number 23. And this is what we call what? Karyotype. This is what? Karyotype. This is the definition of karyotype. What is meant by karyotype? Let's read it. It is the chromosomes are descendingly arranged in homologous pairs according to their size from number 1 to number 23. The pairs from number 1 to number 22 are called autosomes or somatic chromosomes. You have two names. You can say autosomes or somatic chromosomes. While the pair number 23 represent what? Represent the sex chromosome, which is responsible for only appearance of the sex of the individual and the sex characters. Right. These pairs are not subjected to the arrangement because they are come after the 7th in size. If you put them in the size, according to the size, they will come in the after the 7th pair, but they are arranged in the end because they are different. Because they are different from other female to the male. They are different between male and female, so they put them in the number in the last position in pair number 23. Type. The karyotype of male different. I need you to read, Ya Omar. Welcome, Omar. Can you read? Mazin, sorry. Mazin, I want you to read, Mazin.
Measures. The karyotype of male differs from that of the female in the pair of sex chromosomes. This pair is asymmetric.
Asymmetric يعني different. Heterozygous يعني asymmetric. One big and one small. They are not similar. One big and one is small. X and Y. The big one is X and the small one is Y. This is a male or a female?
Male.
A male. And they are similar XX in the female. These pairs are called the sex chromosomes because they have the genetic information about the sex determination. They have the information about the sex determination. And they have the information about the sex characters. Okay? They control the sex of the individual. Type. The constancy of chromosomal number. The constancy of the chromosomal number in both the male and the female of all members of human race indicate that the chromosomes carry genetic information which determine the characters of the human and the other living organism. Yani the human have 46 chromosomes. This number doesn't change from one generation to another. And we know why. This number doesn't change from one generation to another because there is a sexual reproduction and there is meiotic division. The meiotic division during formation of gametes, we know that the meiosis reduce the number of chromosomes into half. In the gamete, in the sperm or in the ovum, the number of chromosomes n, not 2n, like the somatic cell. So when the zygote is formed by fertilization of the sperm and the ovum, the complete number return back again. The complete number return back again. This is the basics of chromosomal theory, which we will discuss together quickly. So Saturn and Bovary are two scientists. Saturn and Bovary are two scientists who make the chromosomal theory. What we call now the basics of the chromosomes. Chromosomes are found in somatic cells, are homologous pairs, 2n. And of course, the sex cells or the gamete contain half number of chromosomal number. It is n only. Due to meiosis, they come from meiotic division, where the pair of homologous chromosomes are segregated into two equal sets of chromosomes. So the meiosis division make gametes, make sperm and ovum. In the meiosis division, the number of chromosomes is reduced into half. Each pair of chromosomes behave independently at the transmission of gametes. As we remember the meiosis and the mitosis, as we remember, each chromosome separated from the other one in two groups during metaphase and during anaphase. In the division during anaphase, the chromosomes split and separated into two groups. Each chromosome is independently separated into one pool of the cell. So in the end of the division, we have two sets of chromosomes, two groups of chromosomes. During fertilization, the diploid number, the complete number, the 2n number of chromosomes return back again because of the fertilization between the sperm and the ovum. Genes are located on the chromosomes, and the single chromosomes may carry hundreds of the genes. Each chromosome may carry hundreds of genes. This is the basics of chromosomal theory. This is the basics which Saturn and Bovary said about the chromosomes and about the chromosomal theory. Inshallah, in the next session, we'll discuss together Mendel's first law and Mendel's second law about inheritance. In the second session, in the next session, inshallah, we'll discuss together Mendel's first law and Mendel's second law. Okay? But now,